The Learning Assistant program at Oregon State University is really a STEM education initiative meant to couple undergraduate students as part of the teaching team with faculty. When I was teaching anatomy and physiology in 2014, I was doing a great job lecturing, but I could tell that my students weren't learning. And so I tried to find an evidence-based way to improve success in my classroom. And I found active learning, and I knew I wanted to apply it. So I looked for a model that would enable me to recruit an army of assistants to provide feedback while students were actively learning. And I found the Learning Assistant model from Colorado Boulder. So learning assistants are students who have successfully completed a class, and then they come back and they join the teaching team.
So I wanted to be in LA because I've been in courses where I've had LAs in them, and I've seen how much of a difference that they can make because they took the course. They're a lot closer to the students that they're working with than the professor is in terms of like their level of understanding and like where they're at.
We know the Learning Assistant program works at Oregon State because we can see increased success rates in courses. For example, in our Introductory Chemistry courses, more than 90% of our students are successful. And this is well above the national averages. We're not just teaching science, we're doing the science of learning. And all of the faculty and the LAs that are invested in facilitating student learning are doing it using evidence-based practices that we're continuing to research and continuing to understand and contribute to the broader science education community.
You know, Prosperity Widely Shared says every student graduates. Our version of that is every student succeeds in their intro science courses. Those science courses are the gateway, they're the core knowledge, they're what the students need to go on to everything else they do in their program.
My experience working with LAs has been fantastic. I have found them to be an invaluable resource for improving the course. They give me feedback from the students that I don't think I would get otherwise. They also can review the course materials from a student perspective and let me know when they don't think things will work and how we could tweak them to make them better in the classroom.
In these huge classrooms, you can't have that one-on-one interaction where it's one professor and hundreds of students filling a classroom like this. Having LAs in the class gives you a chance to talk with them one-on-one because most people are scared to raise their hand in class when there's so many people and they don't want to feel wrong. But with the LAs, not only do you get to talk with someone who's done it, but you're just seeing them. Those are students that succeeded. Those are students that got through the class, and that should give you an initial boost of confidence, but then even more you can talk with them and say, oh, how did you study? Or, how did you find this? Was this hard? And then hearing them say, yeah, this was hard, but this is what I did to get through it, I think completely changes a perspective and makes it seem completely doable.
As the director of the Learning Assistant program, I get so much joy seeing how many faculty want to work with LAs. Because when a faculty member chooses to work with LAs, they're choosing the best possible approach to teaching and learning.
I would say the biggest impact of bringing learning assistants into our courses has been the student experience in our classes. Since we've implemented learning assistants, we've seen a large increase and how satisfied they are with their experience.
Our program is pretty distinct among the more than 150 programs that exist of learning assistant programs throughout the country because we're so big and we're in so many courses in the College of Science. And really our impact is that it's not just STEM students we're impacting because we're also in the introductory math courses and the introductory chemistry courses and introductory biology courses. And those courses serve all of OSU students, not just the College of Science students.
A real signature of the OSU experience is the attention we put on these first-year courses and again on that academic and social experience that students get in those courses that makes them a part of the community and gives them that early academic success.
I think that's been something I didn't expect, right? Because I expected to help people. I expected to learn how to teach and how to help, but feeling closer to people and more connected was something I didn't expect, but it was really, really beneficial for me, I feel.
Many of our learning assistants won't become teachers, but they'll become physicians, career engineers, care providers in a diversity of roles, and the skills that they learn as a learning assistant are going to make them successful everywhere they go.
You know, I got to visit a classroom with learning assistants pretty recently and see how it's working these days, and it was just terrific. You know, a whole room full of physics students engaged, not on their phones, sitting and working on problems together, and the learning assistants running around and helping them work the problems. That's how you learn, and that's how we want to help our students learn.